Well, hello, my paranormal peeps, and welcome back to another Deep Woods Paranormal podcast. My name is Matt Harvey. I am the founder and lead investigator with Deep Woods Paranormal. And on this channel, we are making the paranormal normal. So, let me take you back to October 20th, 1967. You're deep in the woods of Bluff Creek in California. Two men many believe to be the most convincing evidence of Bigfoot ever recorded. Was it a real creature walking calmly through the forest, or a man in a costume that fooled the world? So on frame 352 of this video, the moment the creature turns and looks at the camera, it's been analyzed and enhanced and debated for over 50 years. So what am I talking about? Have you guys ever seen the Patterson Gimlin film? If you're a Bigfoot enthusiast, you probably have, right? You've probably watched that video like me many times. Just a little bit of background on Patterson and Gimlin. They were amateur researchers investigating a string of Bigfoot sightings near Bluff Creek. Patterson carried a rented 16 millimeter camera, a crucial detail that adds authenticity for believers. He wasn't expected to film anything so cinematic at that point. But the creature, later nicknamed Patty, walks upright with long strides, arms swinging naturally. The film lasts less than a minute, yet it changed the entire Bigfoot conversation overnight. So, yeah, I mean, I've seen this video so many times. So many times. I'm sure if you, like I said, if you're a Bigfoot enthusiast, you have as well. So today we're going to take a deeper dive into this. I've kind of talked about this in the past. It's it's a very important video for the Bigfoot world. It really basically was the first ever real look at what a Bigfoot possibly would look like on video. Now, if you're going back to, the 16 millimeter camera, you got to remember this was back in 1967. That technology was not great. They were just coming out with video cameras. Number one, the cameras were extremely expensive to own. Number two, and even hard to find. And then number two, for some reason my alarm's going off. Number two, the way the film was made it really hard to edit. Back then, essentially, if you wanted to edit film, you had to basically go through with a light box, which was basically a little square, no bigger than probably like a cup size, like a drinking cup size cup that had kind of a magnifying glass in the top so you could actually see, enlarge the picture. And then you would basically slide in, had a little light usually, or you had to put light underneath it so you could see the film underneath the actual film. And then basically you'd slide real slow the film, like on almost like a piece of tape, but it wasn't sticky, through to look to see what you had. And then they also had these things called projectors for my younger audience back then, where you could basically put this reel on through a movie projector, kind of like if you go to the movies now, but they don't play film, it's all digital. And essentially it would play through and you could watch the video in real life. I mean, real size. If you've ever seen the old reruns of movies, where people are watching old cinematic videos on the wall or whatever in family night. So let's get into why people think this is real. The natural gait and biomechanics. Researchers like Jeff Meldrum note a compliant gait, weight shifts smoothly like an ape, not a man in a stiff suit. So if you don't know who Dr. Jeff Meldrum was, unfortunately he just passed, and I'm so sorry that he is no longer around. He was like a footprint expert. He was really good at being able to tell you what was real, what was fake. He studied at I think Idaho State, basically at one of the colleges in Idaho, and that was his specialty. He researched footprints, and he would put them through a machine, and he could like see the fine details and tell you whether something was fake or real. And he did it. And if you've seen the shows, like I can't mention the names of the shows, but if you've seen the big time shows that were out there on Bigfoot, you've seen them go to him and ask them, is this real or is this fake? And a couple of people like Survivor Man and stuff actually tried to fake it. I think Survivor Man took his own footprint and then, had it blown up and then gave it to Dr. Meldrum. And Meldrum looked at him and just smiled, like, this is fake. He's like, how do you know? And he's like, I just know. I've been doing this so long. Anyways, but he reviewed the Patterson Gimlin film, and he had a person in a suit, and they put him through the whole process. They put sensors on this guy, put him in about the same size suit, modern day suit, and essentially made it so he had to copy the gape, and he couldn't quite do it. Now, Bigfoot, when they walk, they literally turn their hips, because I have seen exactly what they saw on that video back in Black Star Canyon. I've talked about this many times. I was walking out one night. If you don't know anything about Black Star Canyon, go back through my older videos on Bigfoot, that's where I first started, was Black Star Canyon in Orange County, California. It's a secluded area up in the Cleveland National Forest in the middle of Orange County, between Orange County and Riverside, where there are Bigfoot. And I know a lot of people go, oh, yeah, right. My non-believers, my skeptics are going, yeah, right, Matt. But, if you go up there enough and you're up there quite a bit and you take your time and you listen and watch, you will possibly see something at some point. Or you may never see anything. I don't know. But I was lucky enough to experience them and became a believer because of them. Anyways, so I literally I was walking out one night and I felt like I was being watched. And so I had a flashlight. It was almost like a headlight. I think it was 2,000 lumens or something. It was a very, very bright flashlight. You turn it on, it was like somebody turned on the sun. It was super bright. So I'm walking out, and I walk over to the fence as I'm walking through the gate. And I'm just walking along the fence, and I thought I heard something. So I turned and looked to the left, and I'm looking, and I'm like, there's nothing there. I didn't physically see anything. But it wasn't dark. It wasn't bright. I think it was a full moon that night, and you could barely see the outlines of the trees. So I sat there, and I turned this light on, and I'm pretty sure I blinded this poor creature, because as I scanned along the tree line, I saw this thing just standing kind of in the clearing. It wasn't quite in the clearing, but it was standing right in front of some bushes. And because you couldn't see it without a light. And so as I'm looking at this thing, it looks back at me, and I'm 6'2", about 315 pounds. This thing looks at me. It's about the same size, about the same shape as me. And it's a juvenile. It's probably just out there watching to make sure nobody comes into its territory. I imagine they were probably out there hunting or doing whatever they were doing that night. Black Star's rich with wildlife. There's, mule deer out there and stuff. So there's plenty of food for them. And there's Irvine Lake so they can fish and swim and have water and all that other stuff. And there's creeks. So it's a perfect hot spot for Bigfoot. Anyways, long story short, the thing literally takes one step, and it literally, I'm shining this light on this the whole time. I saw the whole thing. Literally takes a step, and its whole hips just turned, and the upper body stayed straight. And then it took another step, and it probably covered 5-6 feet. And this thing's about as tall as me. I can't make a 5-6 foot gape. And then it finally takes one more gape, and then turns its whole body. Can't turn his head, just turns the whole upper shoulders and everything to look at me. And then, and it seemed like it was forever, but it was probably like a second maybe, just to make sure I wasn't following it. And then essentially took like 2 more steps, 2 more gapes, and then disappeared. So it wasn't like walking normally. It was actually taking large strides. And I should have probably given chase, but it was in private property, so I couldn't go up there. But anyways, so getting back to why believers think this is real, the visible movement under the hair suggests living creature, not costume padding. And from what I saw the same thing. I could see the muscles moving as it walked. And I watched the Patterson Gimlin film, and I see exactly the same thing. And I know what I don't expect anybody to believe until they've had their own experience where they can say it couldn't be anything else. But for me, it looks exactly the same. And there's more actually to the Patterson Gimlin film. People see just where it basically turns and walks away, but there's actually quite a bit more to it. And there's actually possibly another creature up in the woods as they're staying there. You actually see, I think it was Bob Gimlin who was the one who filmed it. He gets off the horse, or maybe it was Patterson that got off the horse. One of them gets off the horse, almost falls, gets back up, and the camera's just really shaky. And back then, it's not like today. If you're shaking the camera around, it was really kind of all over the place. So there's better versions of the Patterson Gimlin film where they've steadied it so you can actually kind of follow it a little bit better, or they've kind of made it so that they've modernized the film, and so you can follow the creature a little bit better. But I mean, it was exactly what I'd seen, and this thing disappeared up around a corner. I know exactly where it went. So, anyways, so proportions, the limb length, the torso shape, and head portions fall outside typical human ratios. Lack of technology in 1967, special effects experts say creating such a realistic motion and muscle texture back then would have been nearly impossible without Hollywood resources. And it says, no confirmed motive. Patterson Gimlin never profited massively from the film. And I believe Gimlin is still alive, or he may have recently passed. I've unfortunately never had the pleasure of meeting either one of them. I wish I would have. But from what I understand, neither one of them has ever, even Patterson on his deathbed, never actually said these were fake. There's never been any proof. Nobody's ever been able to prove 100% that this is a fake video. And again, you guys got to use your own judgment on this. And we'll get into why people think it's a hoax in just a second here. But I've talked to, because of our experience with ghost hunting back in the day, we met a lot of Hollywood people, and that worked in Hollywood and film videos and movies and stuff like that. All of them said, and when they saw the video, they're like, no, that that's really hard to do to this day. I mean, to make everything move like that. I mean, now through maybe CGI you could do it, but I mean, the way the creature moves is just so natural and looks so real. I mean, if you get a video of a gorilla or a chimpanzee or anything like that actually moving, gorilla's probably better. You can see the muscles and everything move, just like in the Patterson Gimlin film. Anyways, let's get why skeptics think it's a hoax. So Bob, I can't even pronounce his last name, Harmonious claimed. So this is a guy that basically said he wore the costume, and basically he was part of the hoax. He claims that he wore the suit allegedly made by costume maker Philip Morris, though he had no proof. So inconsistencies. Some say the creature's fur clumps like a fabric. Other points to possible seams or folds. Patterson's history. He was previously working on a Bigfoot book and had an incentive to stir interest. Skeptoid and others argue eyewitnesses' memories decay later and can be unreliable, and their details may have shifted with their retellings. And then no physical evidence, no tracks, no hair, no biological samples confirmed to match the creature. So I've been researching Bigfoot, for about almost 15 years now, maybe longer. And finding hair samples, you think it'd be easy, especially with all the barbed wire fences, with all the trees that can grab hair, with the the vines that will grab for whatever. it seems like it would be so easy to find hair samples or even skin samples of something unknown, right? It's impossible. It's really, really difficult. I mean, I've been in places where we know Bigfoot's habit, and it's very hard to find any hair samples at all. I do still have those old hair samples that we got from the Sam Houston National Forest, but I've yet to be able to look at them under a microscope and tell you whether they're really real or not. And Bob's claims basically, I mean, people have looked back at that. At this point in time, they were just filming Planet of the Apes, and the guys that made the suits for Planet of the Apes looked at the film and said that's not a costume. So again, I mean, you have to use your own judgment. Now, inconsistencies in the creature's fur, clumps like fabric or seams, I'm gonna have to go back and look at that. I really will. I have to go back and look and see if I can actually see anything. Again, the film is so grainy and so hard to see. It really makes it hard to tell you whether or not there are seams there. And honestly, I'd pretty much be very disappointed if I did find out there are seams or clumps. But yeah, I'm all about getting down to the truth. I want real answers. In my lifetime, there may never be any real answers, even if I do find a Bigfoot. Because if you find a body, I mean, it's going to be gone within hours or minutes or whatever. Because Big Brother will probably know you have it and will come take it from you. So, I mean, I've talked to people that have had, everybody says, oh, well, nobody's ever turned over a body. That's not exactly true. I've talked to people who have taken one down, and you don't get very long to hide the information. I'll tell you that much. Fur, skin samples, saliva, pictures, video of it. It disappears pretty quick because Big Brother seems to know what's going on with these things. I don't know if they've already chipped them or they know where they are or they know what's going on with them. I do know that there's a group out there of military personnel that does track them. And, if you take one down, good luck trying to get it to a zoo or get it to somebody before they take it from you. Okay, so as far as no physical evidence, no tracks, hair, or biological samples confirmed to match the creature. Number one, the creature was alive. Number two, it was walking on a rocky, hard surface. I know how hard it is to get any kind of evidence from those those locations because I've tried. Hair samples, again, are really hard to come by. I don't know why they're so hard to come by, but I do know that they're hard to come by. I've tried many times to find hair samples. Like at Joe's camp, we looked everywhere. I mean, we looked on his barbed wire fences. We spent a whole day just looking for hair samples. We found footprints all over the place. We didn't cast any because number one, it was 100 degrees and 100% humidity. It was so hot that day, and by the time we got back out there, it had rained and they were gone. But we did take many, many, many pictures of them, many, many videos of them. And then biological samples. Again, you really have to take a creature down to be able to really get a sample. I mean, imagine just, for my skeptics out there, imagine going up to a gorilla and trying to pull some fur out of it. Or, hey, can you open your mouth for a second? Let me just get a quick saliva sample. Or, up the wrong end here. Let me get some samples from you there. Or, hey, can I just scratch your skin a little bit? I especially a wild one. Good luck with that. I mean, these things are not. If they are real, and I know they're real, but I mean, for the people that are skeptics or on the fence, I mean, imagine trying to do that. You have to tranquilize one, and then you're lucky if they're not in a family group. If they're not in a family group, who knows? If they're in a family group, who knows what they're going to do? What are they going to? How are they going to react? Are they going to come at you? I mean, are you going to become, the next victim of the 411 missing people? or would they just kind of scatter? I don't know how they would react. It is one of the things I'm thinking about doing if I ever get an opportunity to put a dart in one. I don't want to kill one, but put a dart in one and just get enough, just for long enough to get some skin samples. And I've talked about this already before, but get some evidence from them and then just carefully just back off and just leave it and watch to make sure it got up and walked away. So we didn't harm it in any way. Get some blood, stuff like that. But also imagine, I mean, what would happen if somebody does get a hold of one of these? Number one, it would be open season on them, right? It would be open season on Bigfoot. There's several states that protect them, but there would have to be immediate congressional state hearings to get them protected, right? You'd have to do that right away before any evidence ever got out, because these things would be extinct within, I don't know, months, if not before that. Big game hunters would be all over these things, trophies, heads on the wall. I mean, imagine all the corrupt that would happen. Zoos. They'd end up in zoos, right? I mean, imagine you getting put in a zoo, and that's, also, I mean, imagine what if, and again, this is just a what if. You got to take all this with a grain of salt, guys. I'm not saying it is or isn't. So my believers, you can believe whatever you want. Our skeptics can believe whatever they want, but I'm just trying to put thoughts in your heads. What if it is partially human? What if it actually is a human? What if? I mean, what if it's part of the human evolution? Then everything gets confused, right? Then you get all kinds of chaos. Do they have rights? I mean, I don't know. What would happen if this really becomes out there and people are, it would throw things into chaos, I would imagine. So I think that's part of why Big Brother doesn't want us to know. All right, so modern reanalysis of the Patterson Gimlin film. Recent 4K restorations and digital stabilization improved quality, revealing even more natural muscle motion and I can't even see that. But it's just basically shown that the muscles are clear. It really shows like muscle movement. And it shows, I remember watching somebody who had really broken the video down, and you can see the butt move. You can see the shoulder muscle move in the back. You can really see in the calf muscle, you can really see something moving. And the way the calf, and if I remember the foot, work, they don't walk like humans. They walk a little differently. So some experts say it reinforces authenticity, while skeptics argue digital enhancement may actually exaggerate the illustration and details, meaning that basically because we're focusing in so much, and maybe when you do restore a video like that, you're basically, and you enhance it like that, you are changing the video. You really are. You're that's why I always say, with any kind of audio or clips we do for ghost hunting, don't ever change the clip. Don't, you can have one, you can have a separate one with the audio where you enhance the audio a little bit. But when you do that, anytime you enhance anything, you change it. You make it different. You make it better. You make it worse, whatever. It could be showing something different than actually happened. And I agree with skeptics on that. I do like the fact that they're enhancing it, but at the same time, you're changing the video, and understand that it stabilizes it and you get more clarity, but at the same time, it's not the same video. And so I can see both sides of that coin. And again, I'm kind of in the middle. I'm not skeptic, not believer. I'm in the middle, like, the skeptics and the believers, everybody wants real answers, I believe, in the long run. And that's what I want. I want real information. I don't want fake. I don't like fake. So anyways, the AI motion and motion analysis tools continue to divide experts. One camp says this couldn't be a costume. Another says it's modern tech still can't make it real. Again, people are just trying to say that you're either on one side or the other, essentially. I think there's still some people kind of in the middle, but most people are divided on it's either real or it's not. Um, Me, I do believe it could be real. I would really hope it would be, especially because it's made such a huge impact on the Bigfoot community. And there's other videos out there now, guys. There's a lot of videos, and everybody says, "Oh, there's no clear videos." There is. There really is. People don't share them because they get such ridicule, and people, "Oh, that's fake. It's blah blah blah," but it's real. I mean, there are videos. I mean, we've got a couple of trap cam videos where you can see it, but I mean, it's really hard to prove. You know, your skeptics are going to remain skeptical. Some of them are going to remain skeptical no matter what, unless they actually have a physical sighting where they can say that couldn't be anything else. But this is why I always say this. If you're really skeptical, you really got to get out in the field and you really got to have an experience. And for my believers, that's the same thing. It goes the other way. You really have to have an experience where you can say that couldn't be anything else but. And you have to be both skeptical and believe at the same time. You got to make sure your evidence is 100% proof. The Patterson Gimlin film, I think, is probably about 80% solid. The other 20%, just because it's such an old video, and I mean, it's 60-year-old technology, guys. I mean, that's when video was just starting to come out, and these handheld recorders were just starting to come out. I mean, if he had shot it with today's cameras, I mean, this would have been a completely different conversation. So, cultural and physical impact. The film turned Bigfoot from folklore into pulp culture phenomenon. Really, back in the day, it really brought Bigfoot out. A lot of movies kind of started happening because of it, and stuff like that. It inspired documentaries, merchandise, and research groups worldwide, which is true. I wasn't born when this video was out, first came out. But after I became a believer, I've watched it, like I said, several times, and that and a lot of other videos. And so the more I kind of research Bigfoot, the more I'm like, okay, there might still really be something out there. And then I've had my own experiences too. I've had so many experiences with them, but I know they exist. But like I said, it's really comes down to you guys being out in the field and getting an opportunity to experience something like this. I mean, it's just amazing. So even if skeptics agree, the single clip redefined how people imagine Bigfoot. It's I don't know why they put such a weird word in here, but it says believers see the truth, skeptics see trickery. The footage helped birth modern cryptozoology and even paranormal TV, which is true. A lot of shows have come out because people back in those days in the early, late 60s, early 70s were really interested in this topic and they started researching it. It really got popular in probably the late 70s, early 80s, and then now it's gotten even more popular as people are just trying to figure out what's actually out there or if there's anything out there. I mean, I gotta give it to you guys, my skeptics too. I mean, you're right. We have to prove it. So, I mean, it's just, basically, we have to really prove it. Okay. So, reflecting on what makes her, so basically, basically, you have to, like I said, I keep saying the same thing. You have to make up your own mind. Deep Woods Paranormal approaches evidence today, comparing old analog recordings to modern tools like trail cams, audio recorders, and thermal imaging. If someone filmed the same footage today, would the world believe it, or would they really think it's a hoax? Um, I just don't know at this point because of CGI and all that stuff. It really is tricky, really. I mean, if this film came out today, I think a lot of people would be probably actually more skeptical about it. I think they would really be more, oh, that's CGI, or you did this, or it might be a person in a costume. But because the technology wasn't there back in that day, the way the the suit would have to be made to show the muscle movement and stuff like that, and the gape and everything. That would have to be heavily practiced. And there wasn't just one Bigfoot there that day, there was two. So you have to have another person who is bigger than the Patty up in the tree line watching what was going on. So you have to have two suits, not one. And the cost to make something like that back in those days would probably be in the $50,000-$60,000 range, from what I understand. Now, in this day and age, that suit would probably cost $300,000-$400,000 or more to make. And then also you have to have the footprints and stuff like that, because you can see the bottom of the foot when she raises her foot if you go slowly, like frame by frame, through that old footage. Do you guys believe? You can check out our Bigfoot documentaries, our most popular one, Joe's Camp, and you guys can go take a look at that and see what you guys think. A lot of eye shine, and then at the end there's a special trap cam video that actually got on Joe's camera that was about 15 feet in the air. I don't remember how tall his ladder was, but he was just up there as far as he could get that camera, facing it down, and literally it was behind a blind, and it was literally leaning down. You can look at it. You guys go look at it. That is not a hoax. We 100% got that. That's not a person. That's about a 14, 15 foot person. Tall, skinny, lanky person with a real weird cone-shaped head, and it almost looks like Krusty the Clown. The hair like sticking out the side. Now I'm bald too, but I mean my hair doesn't stick way out the side in that triangular form. So you guys can go check that out. Go check out our website, Deep Woods Paranormal, and all of our stuff there. Also, merchandise. I know a couple of people mentioned to me, "Hey, Matt, I think you might need a new hat." Yeah, because these old hats have seen better days. We actually have a bunch of new merchandise in our store on our website. We've basically gotten rid of almost everything we had in there because you guys didn't seem to like that. But there's a lot of fun Bigfoot stuff in there. T-shirts and hats you can check out, or you can go to our eBay store. All that'll be linked down below. So, again, do you guys believe? Let us know in the comments down below. Do you think the Patterson Gimlin film was faked? Do you think it was real? I would love to hear your opinion down below. Please be courteous. It's just basically an open discussion. There's no judgment on our channel. So we're just basically trying to figure out what you guys think. All right. So thank you guys for tuning in and watching today and listening. And we will catch you guys on the next one.